brute force. If it doesn't work, you're just not using enough. You're listening to SOFREP Radio, special operations military news, and straight talk with the guys in the community.
Hey, what's going on? This is Rad with another awesome episode of SOFREP Radio. Insert cool music. Now listen, before I tell you who I have on the show today, I just want to remind you that we have a merch store and it is constantly updated with the newest branded items like the SOFREP hoodie. Totally legit. I know it's a little warm right now, but it'll be cold soon in about 4 or 5 months, and you'll be pulling that hoodie on and tagging us in photos because you're going to take them and put them on the internet. Tag SOFREP Mafia. Second, our book club. If you're new to SOFREP, welcome to the podcast. If you're a return listener, thanks again for your repeat listening, but you know I'm going to tell you to check out the sofrep.com/book-club. That's /book-club. And you can go and read all sorts of books, just like a gym. You go to work out your muscles, you go to work out your body in a gym. Well, the book club is a gym for your brain. So go check out the books that are curated by folks like Brandon Webb and others on the back end of SOFREP who just stay in the shadows and make sure that I'm not in the shadows. Here I am, front and center. And today's guest, I'm going to introduce you to him, okay? He goes by the Tactical Traveler. His name is John Renken, and welcome to the show, John.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for reaching out and having Rob reach out. You know, Rob's great, your publicist. He's like, hey, Rad, I got one for you. And I was like, bring him to me. Yeah. Bring him to SOFREP. Let's go. So, John, tell me something. How old are you, bro?
I am. Wait, you said don't say things you don't want on the internet.
I did warn everybody. I say, don't say what you want on the internet.
52, man, about to be 53.
Okay, I thought you were going to say 47 like myself.
Come on.
Now, John,
47.
What I like to do is kind of get to know a little bit about you, let my listener learn a little bit about your space from, you know, when you were a young man to the military career. So tell me, how old were you when you decided that joining the military was something that you wanted to do?
Well, I actually joined in high school and then got booted before I joined, and then managed to run into an Army recruiter who somehow got me in. So I had actually joined the Air Force when I was 17. Wanted to do pararescue, and then they ended up finding that I had it's not a disorder, but like a blood disorder, blood condition. Doesn't do anything except for when I'm sick and tired, I get jaundice. That's all it does. But the spelling of it is the exact same word for another blood disorder, which is terminal. So the Air Force thought I was terminal and terminated my contract. 2 years later, I ran into an Army recruiter in Burger King, and he said, I can get you into the infantry. And I was like, no, you can't. And he was like, yes, I can. And he did. So here we are.
So 11 Bravo, so you went Blue Cord Infantry, probably like Fort Benning, Georgia. Where'd you go to infantry school, yeah?
Fort Benning, yep. So did infantry. I had a good enough GT score to do other stuff, but, I just wanted to just shoot people. So
what's a GT score? Do you mind?
That's what you get on the ASVAB.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know what the other branches call it, but
I had a 61.
Well, that's your ASVAB score, but then there's the GT score, which is like, and I had a good GT score too, but ASVAB is what you need when you're getting into specialty schools and stuff, at least for the Army. I don't know about the other.
Yeah, Air Force, though, was just straight. I didn't have a GT score that I knew of. Yeah. But we just went by the ASVAB. Maybe it was a 63, actually. You know, that test, that ASVAB, right? For anybody that might be potentially joining or going to do it or has done it, it's like 4 hours of just intense sitting inside of MEPS and saying, which way does the cog of this wheel go?
Right.
If the cog of this wheel goes this way, but then you have a bevel gear, and I'm like, I don't even know what those three, now I know what they are today, but as a young man, 20 years old, I'm like, I just want to do what you said. I just want to hold a gun. I just want to, where's the button for holding a gun?
That's right. Yeah.
You know? So now that you've joined the military, what year was that, do you think? Maybe like 98? 93.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're just a little bit of an older brother to me.
Yep.
So 1993. Okay, so here you are. I'm a junior in high school. Okay, and you're already
2 years out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and off you go. So did you go anything else other than 11 Bravo? Did you like wind up going airborne? Did you wind up?
Yeah, so I did airborne school, ranger school, air assault school. I did all that kind of stuff, a bunch of other stuff, right? So my stint in, I got airborne qualified and ranger qualified, etc.
Did you go to the regiment?
I did not. I tried to. My chain of command shut that down faster than, having fun on a 4-day weekend when you shouldn't. So.
And did that give you any insight into like, hey, this is what I want to do, but now I'm being kind of shut down? I mean, like, you still have some free will. You wanted to be ranger. You wanted to go to regiment.
Well,
what did they wind up doing?
Kind of funny. So I had a really good ASVAB score, and I was a national level athlete already at that point. And so when I told the Army that I wanted to join the Army with the recruiter, I was like, hey, I want to go to Ranger, Pat. And they're like, okay, well, when you get to ASVAB, just let them know. And I was like, okay, cool. So when not to ASVAB, when I got down to MAPS, and when I got to MAPS, I said, hey, I want to go to Ranger Battalion. I walked into boot camp with a 290 PT score. So they were like, nope, we don't have any Ranger slots. Well, my uncle and my cousin both served. So I knew that if I went to airborne school, I could get a Ranger slot from airborne school, right? So I was like, okay, well, just give me an airborne slot. They were like, we don't have any. I was like, what? And I didn't know to play hardball, so I should have played hardball, but I didn't. I was like, well, what's available? And they're like, oh, we can put you as a paralegal with your score. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with the office. I'm joining to do fun stuff. And so they tried to give me all these different MOSs, and I was like, no way. And then they're like, okay, you can go to Germany. You can go to Fort Carson and become mechanized infantry, which was sitting in the back of a tank. I was like, no thanks. They're like, or you can go to Fort Campbell and jump out of helicopters. I was like, sold. Let's go.
Yep.
So I was actually, in hindsight, it worked out in my favor. But I was really bummed about it because I wanted to go to regiment.
Yeah, and guys like your drive, you just wanted that. And my dad was a Green Beret, total driven type of attitude, athlete, good runner, a very faithful person as well outside of the military. He had, LDS, he was a Latter-day Saint and believed in his faith very heavily, and same with my mom. And I also know that you took a turn into the faith and were doing ministries, or do you still go around?
I went through a divorce, so I've kind of backed off from that for a while because I went through a really bad divorce. So
yeah.
But I actually became a Christian when I was in the Army. So.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I wasn't a Christian. My squad leader ended up leading me to the Lord.
Okay. Yeah, and you have to have something to believe in to even be SF. That's a requirement to have a faith. So it's not like anything to be shy about, right? Whether you believe in Jedi or you believe in Jesus or you believe in Allah or you believe in Muhammad, whatever. Yeah, no, really, those are all classified religions, right? Yep. I just want to be open about it. And, so you kind of had that bestowed upon you and you found that faith, right? And I'm sure a lot of my listeners can relate with that. You're in some dark, desolate place, maybe not even a foxhole, just something dark, maybe even in your own head, and you need to find something that can help pull you through. And I think that's kind of what you found, huh?
Yeah. Well, for me, I when I was a younger guy, actually got into witchcraft and Satanism, and so it was a complete 180 for me.
Yeah, and that's something that we can all hear and learn. Thanks for being opening to talk about that. It's kind of a touchy situation. They say you don't talk about religion and politics around the dinner table, It's like, well.
It's funny you say that. My grandfather used to get so mad. He's like, the three things you don't talk about is sex, politics, and religion. My response was, what the hell else would you talk about?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about? Okay, I don't have to embarrass you about the sex. But where do I come from?
Yeah.
What's my purpose? Why am I here? The three things.
Yeah, no, my grandfather was a great guy, but he had this, I don't know, I guess, and this was, he was saying this, late 80s, early 90s, when he didn't pass until 2008. So was always in my life, really a great guy, but for some reason, he just thought that you don't talk about those things at the dinner table. And I was like, why not? Like, what else would you talk about? So
he already knew. He already had insight. He's like, because it's argumentative, because we just keep it, and one thing that my dad always taught me, I'd always ask him, who'd you vote for this year? When I was young, it was like Dukakis versus Reagan. And it was like, Gore versus Bush, or it was Obama versus whomever. And I was like, every time, I'm like, who'd you vote for? He's like, I don't have to tell you. And I'd be like, Dad, but I'm your son. That's the right I have as an American, is not to have to talk about it with you. And so, your dad your relative and my dad are probably the same cloth. It's like, hey,
as a matter of fact, that's actually funny you say that, because I didn't know where he politically stood until after he passed, and my grandmother started talking about all the stuff that drove him crazy, and then I kind of figured out, where he was at in that spectrum of things. But it was just such a, again, not necessarily taboo. It just, my grandfather didn't really talk about those things. So
see, and Dad was always like, that's our right to vote, our right to freedom of religion, and our right to keep it to ourselves without having to, it's like something got missed in the last 20 years about this conversation. Like, we need our grandpas and our dads back just a little bit more to help.
I would say that we don't need them back. We need the in between of where they were at and where we're at now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I without getting into the politics of it, but I was just watching a video in Minneapolis. They had riots that broke out this weekend because the federal law enforcement was doing a sex trafficking sting. Mm-hmm. And one of their politicians made it about immigration when it had nothing to do with immigration. It had to do with sex trafficking. So you have on their side of the spectrum, which was nobody talks about anything. Now you have this other side of the spectrum, which is lunacy. And I think we just all need to be adults and meet in the middle. And like, look, man, and I'm just going to make a joke out of it because I don't really care. You can be as left leaning as possible. At the end of the day, I go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
so if someone wants to call me liberal, I'll say maybe with my AK ammo and my ketchup. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to label me liberal, bro?
It doesn't even matter. You could be, hardcore right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, at the end of the day, as an American, that's your right to be that, whatever that is.
Right.
As long as you give that back to me, where it's your right to be that, and we can both go, cool.
Right. And just come, really, I like to show folks that I can meet somebody that I've never met before and have a conversation without chewing each other's throats apart. And here we are, John, just totally getting together, having a conversation. We're going to talk about how you can travel around the world as a veteran, how you can use these benefits that have come to you. And we've just had some kind of, dicey talks. We just hit the 3 things you're not supposed to talk about except for sex, but we'll leave that up to Motley Crue and those guys to bring that to the forefront.
And I just think so now I'll blend this in. I actually think it's because of my world travel that I'm a little bit more open and a little bit more less, what would the word be? Like, I don't really take things seriously because I've been all over the world and heard some crazy stuff in countries. And I've been in places where I heard stuff that boiled my blood. But then I've been in places where it was almost comical, So, like, you start to learn to not take offense to things. Just let people be people.
Yeah, agreed. I love to travel. I've been to England a few times myself, and they're like, rad. I'm all, yes. Are most Americans like you? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, then we like Americans. And I'm like, sweet.
The Irish are really funny. Have you been to Ireland?
I've not been to Ireland, but I've had Ireland kind of come to me for this huge thing we did for SOFREP, this boxing event. So,
nice.
Yeah, over in England. But tell me about Ireland.
Well, it's just, so when you listen to the TV, right, everybody in Europe hates conservatives and Trump and all that stuff.
Sure.
And so I went to Ireland, and it was so funny. I got in a cabbie, and the first thing right off the rip, which is not what I do when I travel, I want to learn about your culture. I don't want to talk about Trump.
Right.
The first thing is this Irish guy is like, so tell me about Trump. And I'm like,
bro.
I'd rather not. He's like, no, we love him here. And he just started going on about the immigration issues between Ireland and England. And, Ireland has, I don't know if I'd quite call it racism, but they're pretty, anti.
Yeah, there's racism everywhere, right? I've seen it. I've heard it in England.
I don't know if you would call it racism, right? Because it's more, it's not ethnic, it's more cultural. I don't know what that word is, but they don't like the English.
Oh no! Look, I was in a club, and I was like one of the guests of honors. I had a tuxedo, and I was hosting the boxing event, so I'm like, I got backstage passes. So I'm like hanging out at the club, and I have a gentleman who's like, yeah, I'm a proper Kingsman from the south side of England, et cetera, et cetera. And this other guy comes over to me, my friend Harry. He's like, he smells like piss, Rad. And I'm like, what do you mean, Harry? You're from Ireland. And I said, do you even know each other? And the Englishman's like, no, we don't know each other. This is how it is. It's a Protestant Catholic thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
100%, totally like almost, I was just like, is this real? Are you for real? Is this real right now?
They do. There's no joke. So
in front of my face. And I was just like, Harry. I was like, no. I was like, not right now. This is not what we do right here. And my buddy, who was a submariner in the Navy from, he's like a proper Englishman. He's like, it's just how it is, Rad. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm literally witnessing this full on, bro. We're just hanging out, having a good time, and then he smells like piss, and I'm like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, there's some real strong blood there. They do not like each other. And, and when you look at the history of it, right? And you have Ireland getting its independence, but not Belfast, and there's all kinds of stuff to go into it. But it was just.
I was right in the middle of it. I was right in the middle of that, and I kind of squelched it. So I felt a little bit like my mom.
Right, between you and your brother, you mean?
Yeah, like the peacemaker. Yeah. Like, hey, everybody, come on, bring it down a level.
So it's funny because they're very outspoken about their political persuasion on any side of the aisle, right? And which, is almost American the way we do it in America now, right? We didn't used to be that way. But the Irish are very boisterous, or at least where I was at in Ireland. I couldn't say all of Ireland, but definitely in Dublin and the places I was hanging, they seemed to be very outspoken and opinionated.
Well, how does one veteran go to Ireland to listen to the opinionated voices like you or I have heard traveling? I've flown commercial. When I was in the Air Force, I flew Space A from San Antonio to Travis Air Force Base. I was like, where's the scanners for the metal detector? Where's TSA? And they're like, oh, $5. And here's a wand. You're good to go. Get on the plane. And I'm like, okay, this is a military plane. I've got somebody on a gurney who's going to the same base. I've got, people who are getting their wounds maybe redressed at that base for more professional. So in the military, and they're not all active duty.
Right.
Okay, there was people on the plane that were, just taking space space available. It's usually like every Wednesday from certain bases they fly out. Right. Is that what we're going to crack open here? Are you going to talk about some of that?
Well, I don't do a ton of the Space A, and I'll tell you why. Space A is great, and you should totally take advantage of it if you're in a place in your life where it doesn't matter if you get on that plane or not.
Yeah.
Okay? So what I've seen is most veterans don't have the disposable income to be that flexible. And so when you show up for Space A, you don't know if you're going to get on or not, right? It's all based on needs of the military first, and then whatever's left over, then they have a hierarchy for that. So I don't actually use it that much. I still think it's a great program. You guys can really dig into it and figure it out. There's whole groups dedicated to it, and I'm in those groups, and I pay attention to it, but that's not really my expertise. So,
well, let's talk about your expertise. Okay, let's say I'm a veteran and I am out and I put in 2 years, got wounded. How do I use benefits with a short time in?
Yep.
Versus 20-year guy.
But it doesn't matter how long you were in for. So let's just establish that it doesn't matter if it was 2 or 20. There are benefits out there for all of us that are not based on our length in service, and I'll talk through a couple of them. So first is Space A. You can only use if you're 100% PNT or retired. So if you're a veteran, or if you're a veteran, you can't use it. Same for USO, unless you're a dependent, or retired, or 100% PNT. Okay, USO is the same way. So those are two travel benefits that have some qualifications for. Now the next one down that I think is really good, but you have to know where you're at. If you're retired, 100% PNT or active, you get 50% off Disney and Universal. Okay. Now, if you're a veteran and you're any type of disability, you're getting somewhere between 20 and 30% off. Now, you have to go to your local, what we call in the Army, MWR. I know it's got a different name for the Navy, and I think it does for the Air Force. But it's basically where you can do travel accommodations and stuff like that. I forget what it's called for the other branches. But you have to do that at your local or not local, but the nearest post to you. Okay? Because they have to verify your status. Okay?
So just reach out to that post. So if you're someplace and there's an Air Force base, you can just call up and say, hey, I need to get the travel desk. I want to say it's at the rec center here. I'm at Hill Air Force Base in Utah myself. And I want to say that the rec center and next to it is the Office of Travel. Because you can buy your Disney tickets there. You can get all of that put through there.
Yeah, let me look it up here real quick. Just because as people are listening. So for the Army, that's the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation. The Navy, they call it MWR as well, but it's the CNIC. And then for the Air Force, they call it Force Support Squadron, and the Marine Corps calls it the Community Service. Coast Guard calls it MWR.
Okay, so 3 of the branches keep it with MWR.
Well, MWR, and then they have their specific designation for it. Like the Navy is the CNIC. So so that's how you guys can find those tickets. And then now let me go down to the next one. So here's another one that most people don't know about, but it's only available for 100% PNT, and it's only available in certain states. There's 42 airports. If you're 100% PNT, you get free airport parking when you travel.
Oh, yeah, no, that's great because, I mean, if you're going to take a couple days, you need to park your car, $36 a day adds up to $100 in 3 days.
Utah is one of those states. Salt Lake does it. I don't know about, because you have, what's the other one down in Provo. I don't think, maybe it's Provo that does it. I have to look.
Provo's a very small airport that's becoming a little bit bigger, right? And so we now have like Breeze Airways, Allegiant flies out of there. Salt Lake, though, international, I know they do have the veteran assistance.
Vegas has it. Nashville has it. Every airport in both Florida and Texas has it. So it doesn't matter where you're at in Texas or where you're at in Florida. Every airport has free parking. So
yeah, and so how would somebody, do you think, go? Would they just go to their local airport parking app and say, hey, let me find the information?
They got to go to the airport, get the packet, fill out the packet, provide proof that they're 100% PNT, or show their handicap placard, and then that's how they do it.
Okay, well, I hope somebody's listening that can take advantage of this right now.
Yeah, I've got a buddy that saves a couple of grand a year doing it. So
yeah, especially if you're trying to, coupon your way through the world and try to travel internationally for like $200, bro.
You said, it's $36 a day. So if you take a 10-day trip, I mean, you're at almost $400.
Right.
I mean, that it's not like massive money, but it's a significant savings. So
$400 towards food in Thailand, or $400 towards your car chilling.
Yeah.
Just sitting there,
well,
right?
$400 in Thailand goes way further than food.
That's what I'm saying.
I stayed in Thailand for 2 weeks, and it cost me $500. That was food, air conditioning, hotel,
tank tops.
Yeah, it was like, man, this is cheap. So,
there's like a meme. It's like 1 day in Thailand, you're like completely tourist.
Yeah.
3 days into Thailand, you're like flip flops and a tank top. 6 days into Thailand, no shirt, bandana, riding a moped.
Now, with that parking, there's also free RV and camping sites all across the United States. So you just have to be a veteran. So it doesn't matter if you're active, retired, disabled, you just have to be a veteran.
Well, I have a story. So, young man, I was probably 10, 11. My dad, active duty Green Beret at the time, with mom, booked us a beach tent stay in California on the base. Can't remember the exact base, but there was a beach there and the ocean. And then we went to Disneyland. And, you know, where you'd have to pay huge amounts of money to stay on a beach, like in Santa Monica or any of these places, to try to, you know, have that beach view and be right so close to it. The base, I think, was like $8 a day, and they gave you tent spots, or it was like maybe even nothing, like you're saying. I just remember Dad saying it was like $5 or $8 a night.
Yep. Yeah, and similar to that, there are 5 resorts around the world that you can stay at for either your disability rate or your rank in the military, to where you're coming out at about $150 a night. They've got one in Hawaii, one in Orlando, one in the Swiss Alps, one in Korea, in Seoul, and one in Japan, in Tokyo. And they're the what do they call it? Armed Forces Resort Center, I think is what it is, AFRC. But it's available for anybody who's served. First come, first served basis based on active duty first.
Right.
They're high end, you know, they're not like, you know, an all inclusive in Cancun, but they're very nice properties. So.
Oh, and it probably makes you feel just really nice, very luxurious. And if you've never been to a property, it's probably going to be like mind blowing to go to the property. I mean,
that one in the Swiss Alps, man, is really nice.
Swiss Alps. Let me write that down. Swiss. Yeah. There's an AFARC in Swiss.
Yeah,
Alps.
It's on the border of it's on the German side in the Bavarian, whatever it's called. It's called Swissenberg Lodge or something like that. But it's like, it's in the Alps, man. And it's
I'm writing it down right now.
AFRC.
I mean, if you're just joining the podcast and you're listening, I'm talking with John Renken, and he's the tactical traveler, and he's giving us insight, you know, just into all of the different options out there that can, you know, save us some money traveling around with that veteran status that you earned, that you got.
Elderweiss. Yep, and you know, it's right there on the border, border on the German side. But you know, when you think about it, there's all these perks, and I haven't even got into the 2 best ones. Like, I'm just giving you the low tier ones, right? When you start thinking about the average American, 54% of Americans don't take vacation, which contributes, they've done the math, to over $150 billion in medical procedures, stress, drugs, all that stuff, right? Because we get so burnt out, and then we're medicated, and suicide and all that stuff. The effect of just 1 week of vacation a year on your healthcare costs, as well as your overall kind of health, is staggering. There's research on it. And the 4 weeks prior to vacation and the 8 weeks after vacation, you are 120% more effective at your workplace.
Well, maybe you found a purpose. You're like, hey, you know, if I keep doing this, I could take another vacation and then come back. Mental health days are just as viable as a sick day to me, right? So if one of my guys at my office is like, hey, Rad, today I'm taking a mental health day, because I don't take them often, but I take them, right? Like a sick day. And I'm like, all right. Well, and if I see you out on the snowboard, I'm not going to be upset about that, because you're taking a mental health day. And if being out in the mountains or exploring or traveling is conducive to your health,
well,
then why
they've
would
actually proven that it is. So there's actually research on veterans who spend time in nature. It significantly reduces PTSD symptoms, significantly reduces the chance of suicide. And there's a concept out there that they're starting to push, which is called 222. So every 2 weeks, you should take 2 days off. I think it's every 2 months, you should take a long weekend. And then every 2 years, you should take 2 weeks off.
Sure, like a little bit of a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Right? I worked at a company where they're like, you've been here 5 years, Rad. I'm like, yeah. They're like, here's a month off paid.
Wow.
we're not going to call you. Someone's going to handle your book of business. You're going to come back to your job. So, shout out to eBay. Let me just say that real quick. I love working there, but they'd give you a sabbatical, and they also are very veteran friendly at eBay. Like, you go deploy, cool. They're going to keep your job. Yeah. And every 5 years you get that 1 month off. So people are like just trenching along, dude. Right. It's like 3 years, 2 months. Okay. It's like 4 years, 6 months. Oh yeah, dude. It's great. Yeah, no, it's time off. It's all paid.
Yeah.
And it's your salary.
Wow.
So if you're making 20 grand a month there as like somebody high up, you're getting that 20 grand and you're on vacation and no one's calling you. Yeah. So I kind of stole that idea and implemented a smaller version in my tactical store. So I own a couple airsoft war game shops here in Salt Lake City. Nice. And all my guys in there, it's whether we're trying to mentally boost them up with pizza almost every day or something to eat, Chick-fil-A, something different, like just not pizza. Mental health and morale really goes a long way. You feed your troops, they're going to want to fight.
That's right.
Absolutely. And so and they also know that I have the same opinion of like, hey, you need a mental health day, or hey, Rad, every morning I'm out on the snowboard with my wife at 9 a.m. and I get back to work by 12.
You really, I would encourage all of you guys listening, and you as well, to go do just a quick Google search on the actual peer-reviewed research on the effects of vacation for PTS.
Oh, yeah.
It's staggering.
And I guess what I'm trying to get at, John, is that the place I go is where people travel to from around the world, and it's in my backyard. So I go to Brighton Ski Resort here in Utah. And I mean, me and my wife, we sit on the chairlift hanging our snowboards, and I look at her and I'm like, we ride everybody's bucket list every day. Yeah. I'm like, this is, people that we ride on the lift with.
I hear about it all the time. Because
we travel here. Yeah, I'm from Germany.
In Salt Lake, so I've done some medical travel, and I found a clinic that does deals for veterans up in Salt Lake that does stem cell for veterans who have sustained injuries. So
sure. A friend of mine here, Jeff Kirkham, Green Beret, he's in that medical field as well of helping out with that. And I just have to say his name because, he's an awesome SF dude. I just got to throw it out there.
So the next two are the ones that everybody gives me hate about until they take them. And then they figure out that I'm telling the truth, which is that if you served, you don't have to be disabled, retired, or active. If you are serving or have served, as long as you got an honorable discharge or other than honorable, just not dishonorable. Just not dishonorable. You get 5 days in the Bahamas at Atlantis for just under $500.
No kidding.
No kidding. I go every year.
How do you? That explains why my buddy is always down there once a year, probably.
Who's that?
On jets. Sorry, I have COVID brain, so sometimes I forget what I'm talking about. And so Dan, So Dan, a buddy of mine, Dan, he goes down there. He was just down there with his wife on jet skis. And really, I did have COVID like 4 weeks ago. And ever since I've had it, John, I just want to let you know, I'll be talking, and I'm really good at talking. And then I just stop. I'm like, I'm old man Rad. I'm like, what's going on with me, dude? I'm like, is this COVID brain? Do I have COVID fog? I hate to go in that direction, but my listener, you're listening to, I'm really just like hashing this out with John right now. Like, diagnose me. Tell me I don't have COVID fog, man. Tell me it's like losing brain cells from high school, party days. Come on, bro. I mean, like,
TBI.
But
right.
From hitting my head too much, it's like, but again.
Yeah, I don't know if you're using that or not, but you just have to
ask him.
Any Caesar Palace property, which is a casino. You do not have to gamble. So they own Caesar's Palace, Harrah's Casino, and there's one other one that's smaller. It's only got a few locations. They got 90 locations around the country. Show them your veteran ID card, active duty retired card, or your DD-214. They give you what's called the salute card. Takes about 24 hours, 48 hours to activate. Then you call them and you book your trip to Atlantis.
And that's called a salute card.
Salute card.
So if our listeners like, hey, what was that? How do I maybe even call the operator and say, hey, how do I get the salute card?
Well, I actually have a free step-by-step PDF to show you how to do it, step by step.
Where can we find that?
You can do it on my website or in my Facebook group.
What's the name of your website?
TacticalTravelerClub.com, and my Facebook group is The Tactical Traveler. So
right, and so I just want to make sure that my listener knows TacticalTravelerClub.com is where they can find a good resource of information that we're talking about right now. Right, let's plug that.
Free. Like I don't make any money off of it. I'm not their affiliate. I do it simply because I believe that you guys deserve to travel. So
for love of the game, dude.
Yep. So now the next one is more unbelievable than that one, but I do this one all the time as well. So
what is that?
You get a up to free 10-day cruise for just having served. Now this one's a little more exclusive because you can only get this card in Atlantic City at Ocean Casino.
Okay.
The cruise this year and following is on Virgin.
Oh, that would be rock star style.
Yep. So
I love to fly Virgin Airlines.
So you have to go to Atlantic City, you have to go to Ocean Casino, show proof of service, veteran ID card, retired card, active card, or DD-214. They give you what they call their veterans player card. And once you get that card, it takes, again, they take a little bit longer because they actually validate your info. It takes about 2 weeks for them to put you into the system. After they put you in the system, there's a 1-800 number you call, and you book your cruise with Virgin.
And I'm sure that they can find that info at thetacticaltravelerclub.com.
It's on
right?
Tactical Traveler Club.
So we're going to lead you there. You're going, what's that 800 number, Rad? Tell it to me right now. I'll write it down. No, I'm not. No, go to tacticaltravelerclub.com.
It doesn't do you any good to have the 1-800 number if you don't already have the card, because they're going to look you up and they're going to go, you don't have an account. So, and just so everybody clearly hears me, you do not have to gamble to get these cards. You don't have to gamble on the ship. You don't have to gamble in Atlantis. It's basically a tax write-off for them.
And Atlantis is the Bahamas,
right?
And I mean that's there's nice blue water that you can put your feet in and reconnect.
Yeah, I eat lobster every single day because all the money I saved on the resort.
Yeah, you can eat
lobster.
Yeah. And I think that they're having like the world. The slot machine tournament coming up. There's like a world slot tournament. So if you do play a little slots, that's happening up there.
They have a big casino there. So
yeah. So they do got some slots. Yep. Those dirty slots. Tell you what. Careful with that though. That's a whole nother addiction. I gotta say, hey, watch out. If you have a problem with gambling, call those 800 numbers that you hear about and talk to somebody. Okay. Don't bet your mortgage. Do not do that. Or your retirement pension. Don't do that. So the key thing here is what I'm picking up from you is the tacticaltravelerclub.com is a resource for us to go and just kind of explore.
Or the Tactical Traveler Facebook group, because that's live, right? So
right, and and there's probably a coalition of everybody in there that's got information like, hey, I just used this and that and went here, went there.
We see that all the time. I have everybody post their card or videos when they're in the Atlantis or on the cruise.
So cool. That's so cool for veterans to know that there's something to help, offset the cost of travel. And, it doesn't have to be space A.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. So what else do you have? What kind of tips and tricks can you give us for, trying to go to an airline? Is there an airline that you prefer that is just always like, hey,
was the choice just because you didn't have to pay baggage, but all that's changing now. So there are a ton of air flight hacks and there's hotel hacks as well. So on airlines, my favorite is what we call the across the pond hack. I flew to Iceland for $451. So
that's good.
Using what we call the across the pond hack, which is where you book a round trip ticket to your layover destination before you go international. So in this case, I went to Boston. So Nashville to Boston was $100. So I booked from Nashville to Boston. From Boston to Iceland was $351.
Otherwise, it probably would have been $900 to $1,000 from your direct flight from Nashville to Iceland.
And I would have had to lay over in Boston or New York or
anyways.
IAD anyway.
So you basically just said, okay, I'm going to book a round trip to Nashville because you have to go there and come back from there.
That's right.
So a little plotting though with your calendar.
Yeah, so you have to pay attention to when you're booking times, and you got to give yourself enough time on the return flight to clear customs.
And don't forget the time changes, right? Like Zulu time, GMT time. You're like, oh, today's the 13th. I'm flying back on the 14th. But if you're in England on the 14th, because the time shifts, you're coming back on the 5th. That changes your flight. So you got to pay attention to those time frames.
But,
you really do.
You know, I did a round trip ticket to Norway and spent a day in England, and it cost me $600 from Nashville.
Yeah, that's a really good fare, you know, and that's probably, was internet provided on that plane?
Well, I don't think you get internet once you hit international waters. Regardless. Okay, now I know that's changing now because of Starlink, but when I did that trip, I don't think you could have internet in international waters.
Because I remember flying to London on this WAMU, and I was like, oh wow, they're all Spanish from like Spain, and I was like, okay, everybody's speaking Spanish on this flight, and I'm flying to England. I'm like, okay, but I had to basically raw dog the flight because my phone was just stuck on whatever game I had, and there was no service or anything like that. And then when I got off the plane, I was told, oh, next time, download the app before you get on the flight so you have connectivity. And I was like, oh.
Yeah,
you know.
There's probably some of that overseas, but you know, because in Europe it's a little bit different than here. So
my advice is if you are traveling internationally and you're not sure if you have it, you should ask the representative at the gate, do I need to download anything before I fly?
For sure.
You know, because what I did is I learned on my way home about that trick. And then there was this young family that was getting ready to fly on it for the first time. I was like, hey, make sure you go and download the app before you get on this flight, because once we get on the plane, you're not going to be able to download it. No, because it's like, no, there's nothing. And even right there at the terminal, you can't get it. It's just like, I was so screwed that I learned. And they got on the plane, and like halfway through, they looked over at me. They're like, yeah, good job, dude. You know, 9-hour flight.
So there's a ton of really good, and I have, again, it is on the website as well as in the Facebook group, but I have a free PDF on the top 5 air flight hacks on how to save money on airfare. And that across the pond technique is my favorite, though, because you really do save the most amount of money when you're doing international flights. So.
Oh yeah, and if you want to be treated kind of like a rock star and you don't have the rock star budget of first class, you know what I've learned is I was flying back from London. This is like maybe a couple trips now. I went to the international airport there.
Heathrow.
There's thank you, Heathrow, and there's a Harrods, which is this store, very expensive, high end. I didn't know, and I'm just walking through, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy the crew some chocolate that I'm flying home with. Okay, so I just got something that was like individually wrapped. It was like $30, you know, and it put it in this little green Harrods bag. So I'm walking through, and I get on the plane, and as I board, I'm like, hey, this is for the crew. And the crew member took it from me, and she was so happy. She's like, thanks so much. Man, every single one of them came up to my seat that flight and just wanted to say, thank you for the treats. Thank you. Do you need anything? And people next to me flying back from Paris are like, why are they talking to you so much? Why did they come over? Why did they give you your food first?
Yeah.
I was the first one to get my food, which is another travel hack too, by the way, which you can go into your flight and choose vegetarian or alternate option. And then when you sit down on your flight, you don't know this, but they put a piece of tape on the back of your seat. So when the service comes through, they know to take you your special entree. Yeah. And so I would get like Indian food, you know, because I'm a vegetarian. I'd be like, oh, give me some curry, give me some of this. Didn't know how it worked. I got fed first. People were like, what? I was like, can I go sit up at the front bar in the Virgin airplane? And they're like, yes, Rad, you can. I was like, thanks, chocolate. A little bit of chocolate goes a long way to these, you know, to the pilot came. I mean, everybody said thank you to my seat, and I was in the back.
That's funny. Yeah, you definitely, you know, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So.
Well, let me tell you one more thing. My wife and I were flying back to London, maybe a year later or so, and we're going through Salt Lake International, direct flight Delta, and that's how I came home on that flight, was a Delta. And I said, honey, that crew member is getting ready to be the gate guy, and he has the little bag I gave him when I came back from England. And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah, it's the small little green Harrods bag. And it was taped. Like he did not ever want it to get like lost. And he was just carrying his little stuff in it, and he set it down. I walked over to him and I said, is that the bag that I gave you with the chocolates from years ago? And he said, it's you. And I was like, it's me. Dude, boarded first, right on the plane. Okay, 100%, like rekindled that relationship. My wife was like blown away that that's the bag. I told her the story.
That's funny.
And then, and he was still holding on to that Harrods bag as a gift that I had given the crew. Now I found out that Harrods was Princess Diana's soon-to-be husband that died in that crash with her, Dodie. That was his stores.
Oh.
So Harrods is a very fancy, they got like $100,000 plates that you buy for 10 times plate. Yeah. The silverware, the flatware is like gold. And like everything in there is like, it's crazy. If you ever get a chance to go to England, go check out Harrods, right downtown London. Okay. Just go eat there. They have a huge, massive like banquet of food, man. Like you got seafood, you got fresh, it's just like, it's 5 stars. I definitely recommend going to Harrods. And after going through the gift shop, I took my wife to the actual Harrods, and it's like 4 or 5 stores, old school brick building. It's just like this huge, fancy mall. I really only bought food there because everything else is just like so expensive, bro. But that's a good place to go. And I love traveling. And listen to how excited I am talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And you're just like letting me bounce it off of you.
Yeah, no, I think all those are, so again, I to circle back to what we first started talking about, if we were just decent people and treated people decently,
yes,
we would get a lot further. We would get treatment like that. It doesn't matter if it's traveling oriented or sitting at the restaurant. Just be nice. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, I know it doesn't cost you anything to be an asshole either, but
like you said, flies with you get more with honey. Use honey.
Yeah, So we have tons like how to write your travel off, how to get up to 70% off your hotel stays. Like there's a ton of stuff in that group, depending on which way you want to go. There's a lot of tips and tricks in there for me, I've made everything about the military community. So.
Yeah, of course. And so that's a really good focus because, there's another program that I got vetted through. I was shopping at my local Lowe's, and they were like, okay, we don't take veteran ID up front anymore at the checkout. You have to go through this vetting process called ID.me.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, just another thing just to get 5%, 10% off on my screws today. So I went through the process, ID me, and they send me a slew of things in my email like, hey, did you know that veterans are getting 40, 50% off all this stuff from all these major brands, all of these discounts on flights. So that would be a good place. And I bet you some of these companies are adhering to or adopting the ID.me. More and more companies are just like, let's just use this aspect to vet them, and then they're vetted. Takes one extra step away from them having to do it.
Yep. So I have ID me. They've got a ton of stuff on there. Some stuff is better than others, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot in there.
There is a lot in there, and what might be not so hot for you might be so hot for me. And so if you just take yourself to ID.me, not that they are paying me to say this, but it's a veteran service where you can check out, get vetted, and then you can see all the benefits they have and try to help save on everything else, including your travel, which you can go to, tacticaltravelerclub.com, which John runs, and check out his Facebook group too, because I'm going to do it. Let me do it right now while we're talking. Go ahead. I can multitask, John, it's just that simple. So here I am, Facebook. It's a thumbprint. Here we go. Let's see. So we're looking up Tactical Traveler.
Yep. Just look up Tactical Traveler. Should be a group that comes up right away.
Tactical Traveler, me and my fat thumbs. No, I want an E, not a Y. Traveler. Let's sound it out. And we're going to join. You have 7.2 thousand members, average of 2 posts a day. Tactical Traveler join. So now I'm pending. So I'm sure that once your admins get through, pending me, I'll be able to go into the group and say, hey, what's up? It's Rad.
There you go. Well, I am the admin of the group, so let me just go and add you.
Let's just see. This is. I feel so. Yes, that's great. Yeah. I love that.
Give me 1 second.
And then any of our listeners right now, go check out Tactical Traveler on Facebook. Tactical Traveler is a group dedicated to helping our military men and women and their spouses travel more.
There you go. Really. I think added you, so you can hop in and You'll be able to see right away,
Oh, and now I'm in. Oh yeah, and you see. I know active duty military and veterans and their dependents, military stay at Atlantis in the Bahamas. That's like your headliner. You're just like, just pre-approved an active duty airman PCSing from Germany. I mean, there's just so much going on inside your group. This is a cool group.
Yep.
Here, I'll put, hey, thanks for the ad. Let's put, thanks for allowing me in the group. Love, Rad. Because, Facebook, bro.
Yep.
There we go. So you'll get that. And I encourage, anybody else, even if I get one or two people from here to join your group and that can take advantage of it, that's sweet, bro. I love to reach out to that one person who emails me or the one person who's like, thanks, Rad.
Like it's literally, you go in there, there's all these guides where you can get all the PDFs you want for free. We do ask for you. I didn't do it for you, but I do ask you for your email. Part of that's to keep scammers out. Part of that's because I also email those ebooks to you for free. So, and people will,
and you want to keep it from bots, and same. I'm a part of a group and an admin as well. I'm really kind of hands off on approvals, but the reason why we do it is because we want everybody to be kind of like a local person.
Yeah, to be real, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I asked 3 questions. Are you a military person, and what branch did you or your spouse serve in? And then the second question is, what's your email? This is to keep spammers out. And then the third is, do you want me to send you the email on the free trip, the free cruise, or the trip to Atlantis?
Sure. And that makes total sense because now you're vetting them. You're like, okay, I've got 7,000 people in here. Yep. Let's take away the 200. Let's just say they got through the net, okay? But you got 7,000 that are just probably a good...
my group is actually trained really well. As soon as somebody posts something that's like Bitcoin or whatever, I'll get 5 or 10 notifications reporting it, and we ban them. Like
admin report. And
I love that. So if you're in my group and you see something that's not supposed to be in there, don't ever hesitate because I get rid of those people fast. We try to
real quick
the community.
Yeah, because there's trolls. That's what we call them. Those of you on social media. Now, through all the excitement of talking to you about travel, which has probably made me healthy in my head right now, thinking, because all I want to do is take my wife on another trip, maybe my kids. We're going to St. George, Utah.
You can do no matter how much money you make.
Yeah, so, I'm going to hit this up and just investigate more about the tacticaltravelerclub.com and just learn more about you, John. And I want my listener to go do the same thing. And if you're watching, hi, we're waving at you if you're watching.
Come check us out.
Now, Rob sent you over. Did I miss a book? Is there a book?
There is a book coming out completely separate from travel.
Okay.
The book is Divorce According to Sun Tzu. So I went through a really bad divorce.
The Divorce According to Sun Tzu.
Yep.
Like the Art of War.
The Art of War. And during the divorce, I won the divorce, won my kids in the divorce, and tried to do things as ethically as possible. But I have a lot of people in my network, because my network is all military, that are going through these things and don't get to see their kids. So that's where this book is coming from. Completely separate.
Sure, but still, we want to put it out there, and let everybody know that book's coming out, and maybe something that can help. There's probably some anecdotes in there that can help you stay sane, I bet you.
Yeah. So if you're listening and this is something that you see coming on your horizon, reach out to me. Just shoot me a message. I'd love to be a support system for you. If you're a father and you're not getting to see your children, I'm the guy that's going to encourage you to stand up, spend the money you need to spend, and fight to stay in their life. So
yeah, because they'll appreciate it. They'll be like, how come you didn't fight for me?
Yep.
But I did. But how come I didn't ever come see you? You didn't fight hard enough.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and now I'm 22 years old and pissed off. I mean,
they eventually will get it. So,
yeah.
Take heart. So
yeah, just stay focused. Just tell them that you love them, and just tell them that you'll see them soon, and keep it up. And yeah, I mean, hey, I know people who have been in your position as well, and
yep.
Yeah, a good friend of mine didn't see his kid for like 17 years, like maybe once or every now and then, but never custody, always doing the payments, always trying to, never able to travel, always trying to hopefully get his kid.
I have to and have to make payments. So.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, I mean, at least she's not putting the child dates on things that you're doing that are important when she finds out about them. Like, you know what? Oh, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I just that's for my friends.
Yeah.
Just for, but they're like, dude, they find out I'm going to go do war games on a weekend. And they're like, oh, you have your kid on that weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like, bring your kid. Bring your kid to the war games, baby.
And listen, so we've got quite a few people from Utah in the group that are military. So make sure you post your war game stuff because we're all about the travel experience, right?
Oh.
So I don't care if it's local whitewater rafting or all of that stuff is approved. Promote as much as you want to promote.
I'll drop a link into that post. I'll say, hey, check out 801airsoft.com, which is my indoor kill house I have here in Layton, Utah, outside Hill Air Force Base. And if you're listening to this and you want to come and check that out, and you heard it through this podcast, just reach out to me through Instagram and I'll help square you away if you're making plans to come here or if you're already in Utah and you're like, rad, what indoor airsoft place?
Anything outdoor, hunting, like we have safaris in the group, we have hunting, fishing trips in the group, we have all of that because all of that to me is a part of the outdoor travel experience, and so I want as much of that as possible.
Oh yeah, because Brighton Ski Resort has a discount for veterans to come up there, and they have a huge adaptive program for skiers and snowboarders alike, or people that want to get back on the mountain who maybe are missing some limbs, that type of thing. They're in the bucket seat and they're skiing, and wow, so I got to shout out Brighton Ski Resort, right? Love that. That's like my home away from home.
That's awesome. See, and here's my issue. And so I'm not a skier, so I would have never known that to start with, right?
Right.
But people don't know what's actually out there and actually available, right? And so maybe Brighton is on your list and you want to go do some of those kind of things. You would have never known that there's that discount. So I encourage my people as they're traveling around the world in the group and they find veteran discounts to post them in the group, so that we as a collective community can grow and figure out what's available. Because, in 2016, when I found out about this Atlantis thing, my buddy told me, and I was like, yeah, BS, dude.
Right.
He was like, go up and verify it. So I did, and then I went, and I was like, holy cow, it is real. So
and now you keep going.
Yeah, you get to go every year. Why not?
Yeah, why would you not? Now, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to go to tacticaltravelerclub.com. Sounds so funny. I love saying it, and I'm going to check it out. I really will, and I'll say, hey, babe, this is. I just had this great interview with John, and there's these options for veterans. Let's see what I can explore.
Yeah, and it's fairly close for you. The closest one to you, they probably got some in Utah, but you can go to Vegas, 4-hour drive or whatever it is, 3-hour drive, and just get your card. The closest one to me is an hour and 15 minutes away.
I think I am with Caesars already because I do frequent down there for concerts and events, and so I'm a big points guy. So if I'm going to spend anything inside of the establishment, even if it's buying my hotel room or if it's buying food at the buffet, I just use my card and say, here you go, and then they add those points, even if you're not gambling. We mentioned you don't have to always gamble.
That's right.
And those points come back to you, and they're like, hey, come stay down here for free now.
Yeah,
and here's
I have a buddy, man, and he's a gambler, but he's not a professional, but he does really well. And he's always laughing because they flew him. They gave him free plane tickets, free stay to come out for some amateur tournament.
Right, just to come out, just to come there. Yeah. That's why I was like, I heard the world.
Everybody's always like, what's the catch? And I'm like, well, there is no catch really, except for you have to prove you serve. But they want you in their property. Even if you don't gamble, if you stay at Caesars, right?
Yes.
There's a market
you're going to buy something
strategy to this.
100%.
And it's the same for Atlantis. Even if you don't gamble, the benefit to the economy, you're going to be there. You're going to spend money on food. You're going to spend money on the local economy. So it makes sense on so many different levels, right?
Right. You're going to take social media pictures maybe and post them up saying tag them at, Caesars.
People don't understand that piece of the travel industry. So.
Oh, yeah. I love that. And I love this conversation. And I can't believe we've been talking for a solid hour, bro, about this. And it's just going back and forth. And again, what I want to teach my listeners is that you can have a casual conversation with someone you never met and not get at their throats and not get crazy. We talked about 3 sensitive topics at the very beginning of it when none of us were yelling at each other. We talked about how you can take advantage of your veterans benefits and how you can take advantage of different opportunities for discounts to help save you some cash. And, I just want to see veterans thrive, survive, and stay excited for life and continue to move forward, gaining ground.
Yeah.
Okay, always.
That's great, man.
No, you've been great, dude. Hey, and I want to say, I'm going to wind us down here. I want to invite you back with more tips and tricks from the
Anytime
club.
you want.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to say thanks to Rob for, linking us all up together. He's great. Thanks for bringing me solid people, Rob. I appreciate the talent. How about that? Let me put it out there. And then thanks for going infantry. Thanks for going air assault. Thanks for going airborne. Thanks for going ranger.
Right.
Thanks for going through RIP, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm saying thank you for being selfless and continuing to do so and trying to help your neighbor and your fellow brother and sister in arms. So that's a big salute from us here at SOFREP.com to you, John.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah. And so on behalf of this, if you have any inclination to go travel, go check out Atlantis, go check out Ireland, go check out wherever you want. But first, check out tacticaltravelerclub.com before you go. See if you can get any benefits. And if you need any real advice, tips, and tricks, like, hey, I'm in the middle of Prague. Anybody know where the best food to eat between Street A and Street B is? I'm here right now. And in the Facebook group, I'm sure they're going to be like, you can get a baguette and an espresso over there with the cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay. I look forward to being in the group. And on behalf of myself, Brandon Webb, who runs SOFREP.com, and John Renken, who joined us today to talk about some discounts that you can get traveling, I just want to say thank you and peace.
You've been listening to SOFREP Radio.